This is transforming a graph in ALEKS, and you should watch the other one first because it'll make more sense. But one thing to note is that this is your button to reflect across the x-axis, and you have to do it first because if you do it last, your vertex is going to jump to a weird point. So whenever a is negative, this is your first flip right here. So let's look at this problem. They tell us that this is the graph of y equals the absolute value of x. And you can see our nice v, it is the absolute value of x. And we're supposed to transform it to make this graph. Well, let's start with our vertex. Our vertex is 0 because there's nothing in with x, and -2 for the y. And then we have a. Our a is, let me write it over here. Our vertex is 0, -2, and a is -1/2. Now the negative, we know that this means it's opening down or reflected across the axis, and 1/2 means it's compressed. Now the hardest part of this in ALEKS is the 1/2. So we're going to move our vertex to 0, -2. I'm going to put a sketch right here. So 0, -2, and then it's going to be compressed. Normally it goes down by 1, but it's going to go to 1/2. So my graph is going to look about like this. So I know that it's going to reflect. So here's the deal. The first thing you have to do is this flip. So when you flip it, what you're going to see is, let me erase this line so we can put this where it needs to be. So when you flip it, what you're going to see is you're going to see it's going to flip over right away. And then you're going to grab the move tool and you're going to move it down to here. So it's going to move down to the right vertex. Now, what's going to happen is there's a dot right here and it's going to travel with it. So this dot's going to be here. So right now we have our vertex in the right place, but we didn't deal with the 1/2 yet. So you kind of got to think of this as 1/2 away from where you were. So we're going to take the 1/2 and we're going to bring it 1/2 from the dot. So if the vertex was here, we're going to move 1/2 away, and it's going to draw your V on both sides at the same time. And that is the right answer there. That is the sketch that we came up with. Let's do one more. The hard part is that dot. Since the dot is 1/2, think about if my vertex was here, the dot would be 1/2 of a space away. That is the way to build it. But again, let's do one more. Okay, so here we're given the parabola y equals x squared, and we're supposed to transform this. So when we look at this, our vertex is going to be, pause for a second, -3, -1. Change the sign of h, keep the sign of k. And our a value is +2. The positive means we're normal or up, and the 2 means we're skinny. So we don't need to reflect this time. We just need to pick up this drag and drop tool, and we're going to move our vertex to -3, -1 right there. So you're going to pick it up and drag it and drop it to here, and it's going to move exactly that vertex, and it's going to give you a dot when it moves that vertex. So the dot is going to be here on the original one. You can see it right there. And the dot's going to move to here. Now, our A is 2. So picture for a moment if the vertex was here, you got to move up 2. So you need to move that red dot to here. So that means our parabola is here. And do you see how it got stretched and skinny? It would still be a U because it's still a U-shaped graph, but it moves up 2 from the vertex, kind of like a slope up 2 and over 1. It's not technically right, but it gives you an idea of what it looks like. And then let's do one more of these. So when you look at this one, we're given y equals x to the third, and we're supposed to transform it. So our vertex, this one's not a vertex, it's technically an anchor point. We're going to have 4, -2. And then a equals, that's why we don't generally use an a, we write the word anchor here. So a equals -1. The negative means we're going to reflect it across the x-axis. And then the 1 is normal. It's not skinny, it's not stretched or compressed. So start off with this flip. Remember, because it's going to reflect, you're going to start there. So it's actually going to, when you hit that button, it's going to reflect it to look like this. And then you want to drag your, you want to pick up this move tool and move the anchor point or the vertex, the anchor point to 4, -2. So we're going to move it over here to 4 and then down 2 to -2. So when we, it has a red dot on it here and the red dot here. So when we move it, it's going to look like this. Now, since my graph is normal, we can leave it right there and we don't have to worry about the skinny or compressed, stretched or compressed, because it is neither. It is a normal graph and our anchor point is at 4, -2. I hope this topic makes sense and let me know if you have questions.